The British Prime Minister has today warned the world has entered a dangerous new era. It comes as Sir Keir Starmer announced the sudden and controversial decision to immediately ramp up spending on defence, slashing aid funding to pay for it. Aid agencies around the world have been left stunned, issuing a desperate plea on behalf of the poorest countries. Senior correspondent Lisette Raymer reports.
Missiles are flying, insults are too.
A dictator without elections.
And with Trump cozying up to Russia, the UK has called it what it is.
Here we are, in a world where everything has changed.
And that means preparing for the worst.
This government will begin the biggest sustained increase in defence spending since the end of the Cold War.
But hard power requires cold, hard cash, and the UK Prime Minister is raiding the aid budget to pay for it, cutting the aid fund by a whopping 40%, which amounts to around $13 billion.
That is not an announcement I am happy to make.
It's not just about buying might, but buying favour. Trump's pivot towards Putin has unleashed a torrent of crisis diplomacy. The French president, the first European leader to brave the Oval Office on a peace mission. Now the British leader is preparing for his own White House shakedown on Thursday. Today's announcement, a direct response to recent calls from the Commander-in-Chief.
NATO should be at 5%. Not at 2%. 2% is ridiculous.
Right now, the top spenders in NATO as a percentage of GDP are Poland, Estonia and the US. The UK trails behind at 2.3. New Zealand, although not a NATO nation, currently spends 0.9%, but is looking to increase that to 2%. The UK is now trying to hit 2.5. Aid agencies around the world have been left stunned, claiming the UK's putting guns over aid. And after Donald Trump froze USAID, many, including in New Zealand, are pleading with leaders not to forget the planet's poorest.
These are areas in which aid is both keeping people alive and setting the groundwork for conditions for stability. There's a real blowback to not doing that. I think it's very short-sighted to strip the world of its global aid budget, reapply that to defence and to hope you're going to live in safer, more prosperous times going forward.
While the UK is moving mountains of money to impress the US, the President's attention is firmly focused on Friday's visitor, President Zelensky.
I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly it's okay with me if he'd like to.
Ukraine ready to sign an agreement that will allow America to access its rare minerals as payback for aid.
And he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal.
With a peace deal next in his sights and Ukraine in the firing line, Zelensky is desperate to rebuild the burning bridge between Europe and America.